This is a step-by-step guide to the mortgage process. And the very first step you should be doing is creating a monthly budget, figuring out exactly how much you are comfortable paying each month on your mortgage. Once you have done that, the next step is to figure out how much you are comfortable bringing to the closing table. And that includes your down payment plus all of your closing costs, prepaids, and escrows. Basically, when you show up to closing, how much cash are you able to bring? And 0 is an acceptable answer to that question. Once you know how much you can bring to closing and how much you're comfortable making on your mortgage payment, you can move to the next step, which is having a conversation with a loan officer and completing your loan application. Filling out your loan application isn't that difficult. It's basically asking questions you should know the answers to. That's who you are, where you've lived and where you've worked for the past 2 years, how much money you make, and how much money you have in the bank. Generally, those are things you should know offhand. Once you've provided the basic information on the loan application, you can provide the documentation that supports everything you entered on the application. Those are things like your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns, your bank statements. The loan officer you're working with should guide you through exactly what documents are needed for your file. Once you've completed your application and provided all or some of the documents, the next step in the process is getting your file underwritten. And there are 3 different levels of underwriting that can be done at this stage. The first 2, a pre-qualification and a pre-approval, are using what's called an automated underwriting software program. And the third is actually getting your file reviewed by the underwriter. The way I like to explain this step is think about it in terms of writing a paper for school. The software you're using to write your paper might have a spelling and grammar check. That's kind of like running your application and documents through the automated underwriting software. It's really helpful, but it is not perfect. Whereas getting your file reviewed by an actual underwriter at this stage is like taking the draft of your paper and giving it to your professor so they can mark up. Then you can go back and make the changes before they give you your final grade. But no matter what type of underwriting you're doing at this stage, you should be able to start shopping for a home, working with a real estate agent and start looking at properties in person, having your loan officer update financing scenarios for any specific property you're interested in, and if needed, providing you a pre-qualification or pre-approval letter so you can submit an offer. Once the offer gets accepted by the seller, you can move to the next step in the process, which is deciding if you want to float or lock in your interest rate. From there, your lender is going to send the appropriate disclosures before they send your file into processing and order the appraisal, title work, and your homeowner's insurance. Your file will be in processing and you'll be assigned a processor. The processor's job is to work with you and the loan officer to create a package that the underwriter can review for final approval and ultimately clear your file to close once they have satisfied all of the outstanding underwriting conditions. When the final underwriting is complete and you've received that clear to close, you can go to settlement. You'll meet with a settlement agent and they'll review the closing disclosure and other documents that you'll sign. And then when you're done, the home is officially yours. You'll of course have to bring those funds that we mentioned earlier to closing as well. Once everything is done and signed, you get the keys and the home is yours. From start to finish, the whole process can take 30 to 45 days, but it really can vary depending on your situation and how quickly you're providing the documents and responding to your lender's requests. The most time-consuming steps are the underwriting and processing, when they're waiting on certain things to be verified, like your income, assets, and that appraisal. If everything goes smoothly, you could close on your home sooner. But staying in communication with your lender and providing the right documentation can really help speed up the process. And if you're new here, my name is Tim Kelly. I'm a loan officer right outside of Washington, D.C. And the purpose of this channel is to help you manage your mortgage and finance your real estate goals. And if you found this video helpful, check out some of my other videos. Check them out. You might find them helpful.